As you see me now, I look like a normal 16-year-old, but on April 25th, 1998, my life changed forever.
Ryan's mother and I were told during her pregnancy that there was some type of problem during the amniocentesis, that we were going to have problems with her pregnancy and Ryan would have some type of problems. They didn't tell us how severe. They told us he would be born handicapped, but they really couldn't give us much information as the severity of the problems or what kind of problems they were.
In May of 2001, my father, Phaser Triplett, suffered a severe stroke. His stroke resulted in left side paralysis, which affected his walking, his speech, his fine motor skills. Really, everything about his life was changed overnight.
I had to pass a medical clinic, so I decided to stop and have a doctor check me to determine if I was indeed having a stroke or if it could be something else.
My dad was working on pipeline and my mom was painting my toenails so we could go out to eat. I grabbed my head and I hit the floor. I was starting to have seizures. They called the ambulance. The ambulance came and got me, and I went to the doctor. I went to the hospital, and the doctor said I had had a stroke. There was no hole in my heart, but I had a full-blown stroke.
And Ryan was born on April 17th, 1990, and after he was born, they had told us that Ryan was hydrocephalic, which means he was born with a fluid on his brain. And when he was 1 day old, they had put a shunt in his head to drain the fluid. Well, at the time we thought, oh, that's all that was the matter with him and we could live with that. It was a problem that we could live with. And things were normal for the first 6 months of his life. Ryan had had a stroke in utero, and I wasn't even aware that anybody could have a stroke before they were born. But this is part of the effects of his seizures, his cerebral palsy, all because of the stroke.
Following the test, I was admitted to the hospital, and when I awoke the next morning, I found out that I had lost the use of my right arm, but I did have some use in my leg and was able to stand with assistance. You will notice every now and then American Heart Association billboards that say, "Time is brain." Time is brain. And when you're having a stroke, the longer you wait before treatment, the more damage that is done, and the more difficult the recovery, if you recover at all.
A few months ago, I started seizing again, and it scared me because it was in my good hand. I have real bad headaches, I'm on seizure medication, and my arm won't allow me to pull up my hair in a ponytail. I have no mobility of my hand. It won't allow me to grasp anything. I've always wanted to be a cheerleader, play softball, do gymnastics again, but I'm not able to do that.
Daddy died a year ago today. He loved Art for Heart.
And I'd like to thank Jan and Lawrence Farrington for all the tireless work they've done over the years for Art for Heart.
Mama and Daddy were close personal friends of yours long before Daddy knew that he would be having a stroke.
Mr. and Mrs. Farrington, I personally don't know you, but I would like to thank you for the work you've done, and it might not have been possible for me to be sitting here right now looking like a normal 16-year-old.
Jan and Lawrence, I don't know you, but I would like to thank you. The work that you do for and with the American Heart and Stroke Association saves lives. Stroke survivors like me and others owe you a debt of gratitude for giving of your time and money to such a wonderful organization.
And we appreciate what you do for the American Heart and Stroke Association.
Thank you again.